From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
It's a big early morning broadcast this July 7th with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats represent you're getting a fourth stimulus check and could be getting more months of checks. Wow. Then we cut to the incredible great details about the recon and why the recon the Democrats represent will have other sums of money in there for you as well. I'll go over all those incredible sums of money in this recording. Then we go over everything you've been asking and all the answers to those questions. The vote, the date, the three bills, the two paths, how, when, and where. I'll have all the incredible details in this major recording with a lot of breaking news you're going to hear for the first time on this morning's LA broadcast, early morning's broadcast. Plus, the prom creators are back. And then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raise your benefits lifetime across the board. It's the type of SS200 relief you asked for a long time ago, but it'll actually pay a lot more. Then we go over the big money the viewers continue to get, thousands of dollars. I want you to get it. Viewers are getting $10,000 to $20,000. It's a big early mornings broadcast. The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. There's a lot of breaking news, and the bacon is here. Well, that's missing. But this is Early Mornings LA. Through the middle of the week. Congratulations. How's this July 7th treating you? In this recording, we're going to go over so much breaking news, and you're going to see a lot covered in this recording. All your questions really answered. But first, how's the weather where you are? How's the weather? I know a lot of you have had bad weather, so I hope you get better ones. Jump in the live chat right now. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. The onshore breeze in Santa Monica has kept it cool, although it's not particularly that hot. It's a little bit on the muggy side. Sun is perfect, not too blistering sunny. So it's been good weather. A little bit lower than expected, so I'm happy with it. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, this early morning's broadcast, we'll go over, number one, the monthly stimulus check the Democrats represent you're going to have. We'll go over the potential that there may be more months of checks. Then we'll go over the recon, where those Democrats are giving a lot of other sums of money for you in there. I'm going to go over those other sums of money. Then we go over everything you've been asking about, the vote, the dates, the process, the bills, the July 4th promise. Everything that you need to know is going to get answered in this video. Plus, I'll address the prom creators. Oh, they're back. And then we turn to fifth stimulus, which is absolutely incredible. It is the lifting up of your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, VA benefits that you've been asking for forever. We'll go over all that incredible big news, and then we cut to the big money that viewers continue to get, like Nisi with $23,000. John with $12,000, viewers with $10,000 to $12,000 daily, and this is LA, America's only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live on air and then taped in the afternoons. Next up is Mornings LA, followed by Mornings Crypto, noontime LA, and then afternoons LA and evenings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Fastest growing channel of its time. 400,000 subscribers in 1 year. Thank you for making 2 days ago our most watched day in several months. Also, like this video. Every time you like the video, it helps it rank in the algorithm. Make sure you always hit the like button. And it also delivers a nice fruit salad. Consider becoming a member. Let's get to the breaking details of those calculations of those months of checks. This is getting interesting. The House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder pandemic plus 1 year, and the Senate proposal is just July to December. So which one's better? Well, let's look at the payouts then. House, $1,000 after the first month, $2,000. Interesting. Senate, monthly unknown, but we're on the streets. It's this. OMG. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000 a person. Or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400 a person. Wow. That's deliciousness. But there's this. This is where everything is changing so quickly on this channel. It was less than a week ago where we thought that the pandemic may be considered over for legislative purposes. That would result in the House bill providing 12 months of checks, just 1 year, which would be $13,000. But now it doesn't look like that because Warren Buffett saying the pandemic's not over. the Oracle of Omaha, the head of Berkshire Hathaway, LA County saying the pandemic isn't over, and also the airline saying the pandemic is not over. If that's the case, the House would pay a lot more than 12 months of checks. It would pay pandemic plus 1 year, which would be more than $13,000. Compare that to this in the Senate. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House of Senate. House of Senate. Tell me where you're tuning in from this early morning's broadcast on 7/7, and tell me how the weather is. Well, boy, things just changing quickly. I know my opinions change. I want to see what your opinion is. I'm really surprised by this. So what do the Democrats represent? Well, they represent that everyone who got third stimulus check would get a fourth stimulus check. Democrats represent that single individuals, 75,000 or less, would get a fourth stimulus check. Democrats represent that a married couple, 150,000 or less, would get a fourth stimulus check, double it. Democrats represent a family of four would get a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, Democrats represent you would get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. The fourth stimulus check would not be a different amount for different people. Same amount for everyone. That's great news. And the fourth stimulus check would come monthly, not in waves. So if you are at the hair salon and you see the check in the next booth and you say, hey, check, that's pretty wavy, that hairstyle. What is that, Mitt Romney? That was not an insult. That was a compliment. Mitt has beautiful hair. Rude check. It was, yeah, the check doesn't like the joke. Maybe you don't like the joke. I don't think I like the joke. So there you go. The fourth stimulus check would come in the month of July, for the month of July, whether you have nice hair or not. I mean, maybe my hair comes later. Maybe my check comes last because of this hair. The fourth stimulus check would come in the month of August, for the month of August. Mine would come in November. And the Democrats represent, that's what the Democrats represent. Check first based on hairstyle. And then the fourth stimulus check. Nancy and Chuck said 1,000 times that the final vote would be by July 4th. It clearly passed. So what happened? I'll explain that in the third part of this video. But they can still get you a check in the month of July. I'll explain why. That's coming up next. In the second part of this video, we go over the recon, where the Democrats represent your fourth stimulus check is in. And we'll go over why the progressives are now giving you other sums of money. And what are those other sums of money? Wow. In the third part of this video, we will go over what happened to that July 4th. We'll be going over the vote. We'll be going over the bills. We'll be going over the drafting. We'll go over what they're doing today. And we'll go over everything you need to know to get from point A to point B. And a lot of breaking news, including the problem creators overnight. But first, the fifth stimulus. Let's get a preview of the second half of this video. It's fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime. It is so critical. My viewers on benefits, I've been watching your back since day one. You've been watching my back. And this was something promised to you by the president, SS200, Elizabeth Warren as well. And they did not come through. This is coming through, and this pays more. I'll explain to you in the second half of this video. But get a pen and paper ready this early morning's broadcast, because I got a lot of money for you. You know, this July is turning into December 2020. In December 2020, we waited for second stimulus to pass. It didn't in December. And I stepped up and I said, I got to get you money. It's the holidays. You need money. And I got viewers $250,000 of money. You needed the money, and I got it. Viewers like Tyrone got it as well as for himself. He got family of four in Boston, $14,000, $15,000. Paid all his rent all the way to almost March. Well, we're back here again, and it's time to get that money. So I'm going to show you how to get that money. If you're in the live chat right now, post every penny you got from this channel, because it inspires me, it inspires others, it shows us the numbers, and it also tells us what's going on. You have been killing it. Nisi got $23,000 from this channel, $20,000 of rent, thousands of dollars for utilities, Snap, and internet. Then Art got 3 items. He got rent, utilities, and internet, and rent, utilities, and Snap. John got $12,000 for Snap. These are all people in the last week, folks. Then we have viewers that are daily getting $5,000 to $7,000 for Snap. I thought that utilities was a couple $100. They're getting $3,000 for utilities. And I always said that, you know, rent was about $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent. I was wrong. Viewers are getting $9,000, $10,000, $12,000. It's incredible. So I'm going to show you how you get that money right now. If you haven't gotten it, you got to get it. So get a pen and paper ready. What's important to know is that each place has different eligibility. So if one says no, reach out to the next. And this is what this channel does. This channel gets you money because you don't care what the money is so long as it's money. For example, why are you paying money for rent if the federal government will pick up the check for the rent? It alleviates the bills, so you no longer have a financial burden over your shoulder about the rent. Why worry about what date the fourth stimulus check comes based upon Mitch and Nancy, what they say on July 4th, if you qualify for rent and you can go get $10,000? Get the $10,000. What are you doing? And let's get to the great details right now. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. You reach out to each of them. If one says no, reach out to the next. They have their own pot of money. What are the keywords you say? You say rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's wonderful mixtape track list. If you think you know one of the songs on Mitch's rap album, drop in the comments. I know Scott Watson has some good jokes for us on that one. Not your stimulus. Lobsters need love too. I don't know some of the songs. And there you go. Congratulations. Viewers is getting big money across the board. Congratulations Tim and Linda who got it. Next pile of money is SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money for food from Department of Agriculture. Now this one just baffles my brain. If you qualify for a stimulus check and you've never gotten SNAP, what are you doing? What are you doing? SNAP, it's $300, $500, $600 a month for family, and you're paying that out of your own pocket and waiting where your stimulus check is. You could be getting this paid for. Why not take money from the federal government when they offer it for you and you qualify for it? What is SNAP? It is money for food. It's from Department of Agriculture. Eligibility is simply generally about the same as a stimulus check. Where do you get it? Reach out to Department of Agriculture. John got $12,000 from this last year. Viewers daily are getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for it. Ling Ling got it for herself, her son, and her mom, Gail, got it. How much does it pay? It pays a lot. Now, it's not retroactive. So if you wait, you miss every month. So go get it today. A family of four in Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump. They've been on the books since January, and they're not going to be continuing next year. So get it now. And that is wonderful. $15,000, a raise all the way across the year, all the way to December for everyone. So go get it. $16,000 for SNAP for family four in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. At least you're killing it. I'm killing it. And we're only 12 minutes of the video. I got more money for you right now. It's coming back from the states. States have been ordered to return money back to you because they overpaid due to computer error. Well, the money is now coming back. Where is it coming? To direct deposit, the account you have on file with the state. Can you track it? Yeah, about call up your state. I'll say, state, where's that check due to computer error that the federal government ordered returned back to me? And can you track it with a computer that actually works this time? And finally, your wonderful refund check back from IRS. If you got this as well, jump in the live chat. This is huge because everyone that jumps in the live chat says, I got it. It just inspires everyone else to understand, oh, it just came. Or if you said, I just got it yesterday, then people say, no, it's still coming. Cod got it, Margaret got it, Tim got it, Michael got it. Let's go over how much it is. First, let's say you had $9,000 in total unemployment benefits. You paid $5,000 in total taxes, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you came back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. When? This month. Can you track it? Yeah, about 70% of the time you can. Go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, and go in there. And when you track it, it'll reveal stuff that you never knew. Some stuff that you don't want to know. You wish you never heard it. It'll reveal the check, the tax return you filed, the taxes you pay, and it'll reveal really when Mitch's mixtape drops, does it sort of drop like a brick or a lobster? It reveals, does Mitch have an operatic voice? And then finally, it reveals the tax return check, refund check that you're getting. Wow, can we top that? We can. As we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021, starting right now. It was it was 2 Wednesdays ago when things were not where they needed to be when we talk about this fourth stimulus recon. Up to 2 Wednesdays ago, fourth stimulus recon, which is short for reconciliation, had a lot of stuff in there. Democrats represent that the fourth stimulus checks are in there monthly. They also had in there roads and bridges. At that time, Nancy and Chuck had said, or in the days before that as well, 1,000 times, by July 4th, we're going to call vote on the recon. We're going to call a vote on the recon. So why did they not call a vote on the recon? Because they had been meeting with the President of the United States, Nancy and Chuck, and Jalapal as well, day in, day out for 3.5 weeks, and realized If we call the vote now on the recon, it will not pass. Now understand, if you call a vote on something that's not passable and it doesn't pass, you can't do it over again. You're done. And you lost that recon. You're done. You're negative. You not only got nothing, but you lost a recon on something you didn't call for a vote the correct way. So what did they do? They determined to split the recon. They took roads and bridges out of the recon and put it in something called the bipartisan. That became what I call the split day, 2 Wednesdays ago. The recon having all the original stuff in there, but now the bipartisan split with roads and bridges. And that became the two-path process. The split day, with all the money that was in recon where it was still, and then the roads and bridges now in the bipartisan. Now two paths were birthed 2 Wednesdays ago. Why did this change everything? Number one, by taking the roads and bridges out of the recon, which was this big, then suddenly the recon was shrunk dramatically because roads and bridges are expensive. There was a movie about this, Honey, I Shrunk the Recon. Rick Moranis, wonderful film. Go watch it on DVD. So now that the recon was smaller, it became passable, which means if you called it for a vote, it would pass. It's confirmed by not only Democrats, but also the GOP. In an op-ed on a top conservative publication late last week, a person wrote that this was what changed everything. It said the higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. But by allowing Democrats to take out some of the items out of the recon and putting them in the bipartisan, roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. That's pretty obvious. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon easier to pass. There you go. Sorry, Mitch, set you up. By taking roads and bridges out of the recon and putting in the bipartisan, it made it easier to pass a smaller recon. The GOP has nothing to gain by blessing the bipartisan because now it helps an ungodly amount of money in the recon pass. So there you go. Benefit number one, it made the recon now passable. Benefit number two, now that the recon was shrunk dramatically because roads and bridges are out, progressives could add back in certain items into the recon. Now, they're not growing it back out to here, but they could grow it out, a little bit. And what are they doing? They're adding things in. Now, a lot of this stuff is new for early mornings LA, so I'm going to try to make sure you get all this digested. I know it's a lot of information. Who writes a recon? Recon is written by the House subcommittees with the Senate subcommittees watching over their back. Who writes it? Only Democrats. Republicans have nothing to do with it. They don't like it. They don't want it. And all they're going to do is vote against it and lose. So the House subcommittees, Democrats, are writing it with the Senate subcommittees watching over their back. And when they're drafting it, we really don't know what's going on. There's nothing in the Constitution that says they have to have a press briefing every 10 seconds to tell you what they're doing. They say they're putting monthly stimulus checks in there. That's what they say. They could change their mind. They could say that yesterday and change their mind today. This is Congress. Anyone can change their mind at a minute. Also, they can add stuff in. But are they adding stuff in? They do confirm that. So we have a comment by Representative Ilhan Omar that says we have a commitment that regardless of what happens with the bipartisan, the Congress will give us a recon that goes as big as we want. And then Representative Richie Torres, in fact, says that he has put in housing into the recon. Housing? Yeah, people were surprised when I first mentioned Torres' comments on this channel. He says, I refuse to vote for the recon vote for the bipartisan unless it's supported by a very large recon. And the progressives are meeting with the White House daily to ensure that the recon goes as big and bold as it wants. So what are they adding in? We don't know. It's not like they have a constitutional requirement to appear on Ellen and tell us what's in the recon every 10 seconds of the drafting process. We don't know. And here's what you do need to know. We just don't know the answers. Could PUA be in there? Could FPUC be in there? Could student loan debt forgiveness be in there? I see a lot of questions from people asking, if you think it should be in there, purple power push. Get a Ron Wyden behind you for an FPUC and get it in there, FPUC extended or whatever your FPUC position is, or PUA, or student loan debt forgiveness, or Elizabeth Warren. Get it in there, because this is a drafting process. They're drafting. Now, why are they able to really sort of determine their own fate, determine what the recon is? Because it's a bill written by Democrats for Democrats and protected by Democrats. Jalapal tipped us off to this weeks ago when Jalapal said the president had praised her for protecting the recon. Why? Because she has stuff in there, and she represents its multiple stimulus checks. The president also told Senator Brian Schatz that the progressive priorities in the recon are the president's own priorities. Well, of course. Now, the president has said that the recon also includes money for children, seniors, medicine, CARES economy, climate, EV, and things like that. Checks and checks and lots of checks. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalopal. When Jalopal had written a letter 12 weeks ago asking Schumer to call the vote on the recon, but that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats who were among the 100 plus. Yeah, you heard me right. 100 plus House Democrats who said we're going to put monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Let's hold them to that promise. Let's hold them to that promise. And then we had 7 House Democrats on the House Ways and Means Committee who wrote House Ways and Means Subcommittee, who wrote the president a letter saying we're going to be putting fourth stimulus, reoccurring monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Now, understand the significance of this. Just a second ago, I told you that the recon is written by the House subcommittees, with the Senate subcommittees helping them behind their back. The House subcommittees are writing the recon. The House Ways and Means Subcommittee specifically is the one responsible for writing stimulus checks and unemployment. And they say they're putting monthly stimulus checks in there. Let's hold them to that promise. They wrote your third stimulus recon check in the spring of this year, which was $1,400. And they represent they're giving you a fifth stimulus recon check next year as well. They also want your first and second stimulus check additionally. Wow, can we top that? We can. As the president yesterday, on July 6th, finally got the official announcement. Those countries have now officially signed on the dotted line, formally, the agreement of the global minimum corporate tax rate. Now, you had heard me talk about he went overseas 3 weeks ago, and he signed it there. Well, the official, rather than pageantry, date was yesterday. The only absence, or the only country that did not really sign that's of notable significance is Ireland. Why is this huge? Because it pays for fourth stimulus recon. The president said that I want to pay for the recon by raising corporate taxes, but I'm worried that companies may move overseas where the corporate tax rate is lower. That's no longer a problem. By getting this deal done, he's anchoring fourth stimulus to the edge of the finish line, because now it's easier, one, to write the fourth stimulus recon, because the provisions about international corporate taxes are not needed in there. They're now in an international agreement in the law, in the books, signed officially yesterday. Number two, it makes fourth stimulus recon easier to pass because it doesn't have international corporate tax issues in there. It's just, they're out of there. Boring, complicated stuff is out of there. And then finally, it just makes the whole bill smaller, easier to do. It's wonderful news. And can we top that? We can. In the third part of this video, we go over everything you've been asking and the breaking news from the problems creators. We go over that July 4th date. We go over the bill, the vote date, how they vote, how they write the bill. What is there anything holding something up? What is the timeline? We go over everything you've been asking for and more with coverage of the problem creators. Is there something more wonderful than that? Yes, the volunteers. Now, if you're watching this video, and you've tried to get rent, you've tried to get utilities, you've tried to get SNAP, and you can't find it, but you sort of think and listen to the video, you qualify for it, then what are you doing? Reach out to the volunteers. That's what this channel is about. It's about people helping one another, not people helping themselves, it's about people helping one another. And if you need that money, reach out to them. They are salt of the earth. They'll help you get that money. How do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down the description and you'll see an emoji of a house. Not Nancy's house. It's a link to the community page, news.la.com/community. On the community page, the volunteers separate from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Reach out to them. They're below a picture of some kitty cats whose hair's a little bit more wavier than Mitt's. Reach out to them. They'll help you get that big money for rent, utilities, and internet and SNAP. Now, they cannot get you a pinata, or they cannot get you an EV Kawala, but they can get you everything about everything else. And I'll have more details with you when I'm back with you in the big finale. Oh my goodness, a fourth stimulus coming right up after this commercial break. But first, here's a little bit about the volunteers and that wonderful community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues right now on Early Mornings LA with incredible details, the 7-7 about your forced stimulus with breaking news you're going to hear for the first time in this Early Mornings broadcast. So much stuff you've been wanting to hear the answers to, and you're going to have them all delivered in this broadcast. And then we cut to fist stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for making the last 2 days some of the biggest days on this channel in recent weeks. Also, like this video. Every like helps, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next on this channel is Mornings LA at 9, noontime at 11 a.m., afternoons LA at 3, and then evenings LA before we go into our evenings programs like Sirloin. Let's go right into fifth stimulus very quickly so I have time for fourth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is really the wonderful elements of raising people's benefits up on SSI and SSDI that they've been promised from this president during the campaign trail, after the campaign trail. SS200 never happened, and this is the big money that they have been really owed, and I'm very excited for them, and that's why I'm staying with the subject matter. This happens in fifth stimulus this fall, and it raises your benefits up a lifetime. There's a series of other things with fifth stimulus, which I want to just throw out there quickly. Not as important, but certainly some people want to think it is more important, a stimulus check. So there's a fifth stimulus check, of course, and it's next year. And the problem... the people in the House Ways and Means Committee say that the fifth stimulus check would be calling for a vote later this fall. More about that when it comes closer to the date. Number 2, the president has dedicated $1 billion to Social Security Administration for things like this to ensure that your checks come out on time, like fourth and fifth, and also benefits checks. Number 3, if you're missing a first, second, or third stimulus check for any reason, you need to do 2 things: file a tax return and request it. On the tax return, there's actually a line in the tax return. You got to do it. If you haven't done both, reach out to tax preparer. All right, let's get to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is that raising up of your benefits, then applying a new inflationary benchmark, removing the asset limit, removing the marriage penalty, and removing the income exclusion. I mean, these things like removing the marriage penalty, people have been waiting for 20 years for some of these things. Some of these laws are 55 years old. So some people think that this is an insignificant piece of legislation. This is most important thing we've seen in nearly 4 or 5 generations. So this is a huge story. It's not something I'll throw by the wayside. Some people wanted me to sort of stop covering people's benefits. I'm sorry, not going to happen on this channel. I'm staying on the story. So here's what's happening. They're first going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. That's number 1. That's if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, Survivor benefits, or SSA. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. The benchmark is applied in December, every December for next year's benefits. And this December is the key one because inflation, by all accounts, is expected to be its highest number of many, many generations this December. That's huge because it'll raise your benefits up a lot. Let's go over how it would work. First, they raise your benefits up, and then they apply the benchmark in December. If, let's say, the inflation rate is 10%, your benefits would step up 10%, not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. It's wonderful news. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you cannot stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 on hand. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law. I mean, look how old this law is, that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty, which has been around forever, has denied people benefits, they've lost benefits, and has prevented people from getting married married. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will finally be able to get married and no longer fear loss of benefits. And that would not be retroactive, however. And that is this stimulus. Now, if you've been in the live chat and you've noticed people with a purple hawk emoji next to their name posting the monies they got, and if you have not posted your monies, post them right now. Rent, utilities, SNAP. And you wonder, how are they getting this money? By becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Members are delivered daily from me to you via the YouTube community page. All the monies that are available for you. So I want you to get those monies. It's thousands of dollars. When third stimulus passed, yeah, you qualify for a $14 stimulus check. But why would you not get these monies? These monies are available for you. And I always have someone that says something like, I really need the stimulus check. I'm about to be evicted. There's rent. There's rent money. Go get the rent money. The rent money is not $200. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. That is how we do on this channel. So consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and pinned comment. All right, let's get into fourth stimulus, the big finale right now. So much to go over. Let's go over first dates. July 4th. Leader Schumer, Nancy Pelosi said 1,000 times, July 4th, final vote. They didn't say the first vote. They said the final vote by July 4th. Now, what were they referring to when they said that? The recon. Now, understand, when they said that, the recon included roads and bridges in there. Well, what happened? Could not pass it. They pulled the Democratic caucus, and when the recon had roads and bridges in there, before the split day, it was too big, and they pulled the Democratic caucus, it would not pass. So while they said everything will go for a final vote by July 4th, they realized the recon was not going to pass. So they could not call something for a vote that does not work. That's obvious. So then what happened? Split 2 Wednesdays ago. So they split, they put the recon separate from the bipartisan, to which then you will ask, so then why not call the vote then? Great question. That's what I would ask. So what I learned is that the recon, for where they basically give us guidance, because they don't give us a lot of detail about what's going on in these subcommittees, it appears that the recon is close or has been nearly finished in many of these subcommittees, and that the recon is very close to or is ready for a vote. That has been the indication for many, many weeks, that the recon is ready for a vote because they worked on it for so many weeks, obviously. So if the recon's ready for a vote, then why not call the recon for a vote, which is what I would say. And if the recon is supposed to go for a vote before the bipartisan, then why not call a vote for the recon right now and just do the bipartisan, a few days from now? Here's the problem, is that the bipartisan has not been written as a bill. What? Yeah. So whose fault is this? One guy. He's at the top. He's named the president. The president met with Shelley Moore Capito, the Republican negotiator, for all those weeks. And remember all those videos on this channel. And every time she met with him, she had nothing written. She just had some ideas. I have an idea about this. I have an idea about this. She barely even had a napkin with notes on the napkin. She had nothing written. And he eventually said no deal. And then he met with the bipartisans 2 Wednesdays ago with the split. And what did they say? I have some ideas. I have some ideas. Oh, good. Gentleman's agreement. I have some ideas. Had anyone written anything by then? No. Okay, so they haven't written the bipartisan, but they have really gotten the recon ready to go for a vote they represent. So then why not call the vote on the recon now while they figure out how to finish their bipartisan writing over however long it takes? Here's what's apparently the big issue, is that the president, Nancy, Chuck, and a lot of the Democratic leadership says that the mindset is that the recon goes first, before the bipartisan, or concurrently. But before does not mean a month before. It means, close in proximity of time. Okay, so then how long does it take the recon, how long does the bipartisan bill take to write? This is 2020, folks. This is 2020 with me. Remember Lalate write the bill? Remember Lalate write the bill? Remember how I said so many times I could write a standalone bill for a stimulus check in 10 minutes and be done? And I did write it. Remember how I said, if I'm even doing a package, I could write a whole package in a day, stimulus package? These legislators move slow. So this is where you have to start pushing purple power. This is purple power push number one, is that these Democrats and GOP, which are both doing the bipartisan bill, have not even finished it or are still in the path to getting it done. Come on already. It is been 2 weeks since the split and it's not written, that's getting to be a little bit of silliness. So get it done. So you need to push purple power. We've done that push before in 2020 where legislators, their drafting or their writing of something was too slow. The writing of the bipartisan not being ready in bill format for a vote is what's causing the delay on the vote for the recon. All right, that's number one. Number two, it's important to note that now that you understand the bills, now you have to understand the vote. This is not Russia. I had a lot of comments sporadically here and there where people act like this is Russia. They call a vote and they just write a check, or they just send out a check. This is a democracy. So we have this big building. It's called Congress. It has House on the one side. It has Senate on the left side. There was a very wonderful music video when we were kids growing up called not me. I was not born yet. Called a Schoolhouse Rock. It's explained how a bill is made. It has to be approved by the Senate, approved by the House, and then goes by the president. And some people are saying things as though things become law with one vote. People are posting comments like things become law with one vote. Nothing becomes law in a democracy with one vote. That's not how democracy works. It's not how this country works. Maybe if you want that, maybe go to Russia, but that's not how this country works. So it has to be approved in the Senate, approved in the House, and signed by the president. Over several weeks, I did a lot of videos about the 9-step voting process. I haven't made them in several weeks, so I'm having to bring it back because I'm seeing a lot of people say one vote, one day. Nothing in this country is one bill, one vote, one day. It never was. It never has been. It never will be. That's not how the Constitution is established. So let's go over the items that have to be passed. The reconciliation procedural, the reconciliation substantive, and the bipartisan. I did this video 1,000 times, but I got to bring it back apparently. So we're starting on the Senate side, not the House side, but it doesn't make any difference. Still same amount of work. House first we do the recon procedural. Senate floor, Senate subcommittee, Senate floor, House, President, 4 steps. Then recon substantive, Senate subcommittee, Senate floor, House, President. There you go. So 9 steps to get that done. That's not one day and one vote. Then you got to do the bipartisan. Same thing, just don't have to do it twice. Senate subcommittee, Senate floor, House, President, sign. So that, that is 14 voting steps. 14 voting steps. It's not one day. It's not one vote. So some people are making it a little bit simple. And ultimately, what do you have to remember? You have to remember this. One, we've seen a lot of legislators in the last year and a few months this channel's been around, where when it comes to writing things, they start to get very slow. You don't want to allow it. They promised you July 4th. I got it. The recon was not passable. I got it. Now they can call the recon first vote for a vote first. I got that. But they don't want to call it for a vote too far in advance of the bipartisan because the bipartisan is not written yet. Well, write the darn bipartisan, for God's sakes. Get it written. I mean, this is crazy. So you want to be on social media pushing, get the bipartisan to get it written. I mean, these are people that are elected and paid salaries to write stuff. This is what they do. They're paid to write stuff. Go write it. Don't go, going to 12-hour lunches. Get it written. So you need to push purple power. Number 2, these legislators can change their mind at a single time. So I want you to understand you have to continue to push. They could have stimulus checks in the bill on a Tuesday and out on a Wednesday. They take it out on Wednesday and then put it back on Thursday. So I want you to push. If there's something else that you've heard in this video, like student loan, you want to add it in the recon, certainly make that push. But you have to assume that these legislators have to get things done. Number 3, take the videos and use them as information. And if you know the answer and someone sort of drops a comment that just sounds sort of strange, just explain it to them. There's always a person who says, so are checks going out? Yes or no? Checks going out? Yes or no? Not law yet. Well, okay, if it's not a law yet, what day are they going to send the check out? Well, this is not an oligarchy. This is not a dictatorship where the dictator just determines, I'm going to send out checks today. There's a lot of elected officials and they got to vote. And unless they vote, then nothing goes out. And in this case, you actually, and in this country, you have to vote in 2 branches, the House and the Senate. And in this case, we have 3 bills that you got to vote on. So it takes a little bit of effort. But that is where information is king. Finally, the problem creators. They call themselves the problem solvers. They're not the problem solvers. They're problem creators. What did they say yesterday? They said that they are breaking with Pelosi and saying that they want the bipartisan call for a vote before the recon. I got to tell you, whichever Democrats are in that problem creator group, they are not Democrats. They're an embarrassment to their party, because they know that if a recon is called for a vote after a bipartisan, it's dead. Do they just want to kill the recon? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. They should just be ashamed of themselves. They really should. They're not problem solvers. That's actually their name. They're creating problems all the time. How much money has a group given you since last year? 0. It's just, am I worried about them? No. But it's just, you see why Nancy doesn't like them. I would not like them. It's, either go with a spirit of helping people, or just go with a spirit of just not helping people at all. And that's what they are manifesting right now. So with that, it's important to know that you need to push Purple Power. You need to push to get them to finish the bipartisan drafting. Push to get them to get that recon voting starting. Push to ensure that they keep stimulus checks in there as they promise. Have them keep their promise. Legislators change their promises all the time. They change their timelines all the time. Push to keep them to keep their promise. Remember that you need to push, and that this is not a channel that gives up. 24 hours after July 4th day is not a day to give up. 2 days after is not a day to give up. I've had viewers who have stayed with me since day one that fought for months to get their PUA, fought for weeks to get their EIDL, or months to get their EIDL loan. And 24 hours is not a struggle. But if you need help with rent, I don't want you to spend 1 second. I want you to immediately pick up that phone and get that rent from this video. If you need help with utilities or internet and qualify for these things, or SNAP, please go get it. Because if you're getting $500 a month for SNAP, or $300 a month for SNAP, that is alleviating an enormous amount of bills in your life. And with that, thank you for joining me on this big early mornings broadcast. I'm next back with you with mornings and then noontime. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning. Make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, and stay with Lalate.